at the Hector Luis farm. Unfortunately, it's not tobacco growing season, so there are no tobacco plants. We're going to have a look around anyway, and it's a very nice view. And then we're going to have lunch here. We've got a little bar.
In Cuba, I mean, from the eastern part of Cuba to the westernmost part of Cuba. In Cuba, it grows tobacco all over. I mean, particular areas like Remedios, Partido, central part of Cuba, or eastern part of Cuba like Bayamo or Guantanamo, they grow tobacco. Now, the quality is not the same. And the reason is the soil, pH, microclimate, and experience of people be working in tobacco through many generations. Since you come to Pinar del Rio as a city, as a province, it has different areas where they produce tobacco. Very good for fillers, some of them for binders, but especially San Juan y Martinez, where we are located now. San Luis, where you have Robina family settled. And then in other places in Pinar del Rio, they grow. They are forming the golden triangle of tobacco business. The pH in this region is very neutral. Some places 4.9, like ours, for example, is 6.9, neutral, very neutral. The pH, microclimate during the growing season, which is from October to January, time of planting tobacco, and January until March, it is time of harvesting and recollecting tobacco. Then later we have some other process like fermentation, selecting, classification, second fermentation, and so on. It goes all over the year, all the year round. But from October to January, when you plant tobacco, it's winter time. In our winter time, the daylight temperatures in this region are going to be like 22, 24, 28, but the night temperatures are going to be like 16, 12, 18. So this balance, makes a very good production of tobacco. Colder, we say, warmer days and colder nights is good for tobacco growing. And then you have the experience of people be working in tobacco, like Hector is a fourth generation from people who settled down here in 1845, 1847 to grow tobacco. So all these components are making Vuelta Abajo, the region where we are, the finest growing tobacco region in the world. And there are not Hector, there are many, many good tobacco producers in the region. Since 1999, gentlemen can say about it, we have in Cuba a cigar festival. When you come to the cigar festival for the first time, probably you don't come the second, or probably you come the second and the third time. Then you come to Partaga's event in November and so on. And all this, it makes in the festival, cigar festival since 1999, they set or they just select or choose a man or a woman who's going to be the cigar man of the year or the woman of the year concerning tobacco business. I mean, production, the three mainly phases is production of tobacco, then you have communication and marketing, and you have business and retail. Business and retail, you get somebody from Switzerland, from US, from London, like Simon Chase, from France, you get some people which are Hamano Man of the Year. And then in the category of producing tobacco, there you have only 6 people who receive this award, which is the top recognition in the universe of the cigar smoker. 3 of them, unfortunately, passed away, because this is a distinction that you receive when you are 60, 70, and so on, because it's a recognition to the long way of being working in tobacco business, results, and so on, and the tobacco production. So the 3 missing, you have one man, which is his name is Rogelio Ortuza, in the semi-Vuelta region, sun-grown tobacco. Then you have another man whose name is Armando Martinez from San Luis, and then you have Hector Luis from this area. Hector has the distinction to be the youngest man in Cuba who's received up to now the award of being the best tobacco producer. In this farm, we have 6 hectares, like 13 acres. We are planting 200 to 150,000 plants every year. And then we get both of them. We get the shade-grown tobacco and we have the sun-grown tobacco. If you deeply analyze shade-grown tobacco, you have only 430 hectares in the region, in all Vuelta Abajo, to produce wrappers. The rest is to produce fillers. And everything begins in September when we begin to prepare the soil, and then we do the seed beds. These are the seeds of tobacco. which are very tiny, and each of them is going to be one tobacco plant.
One. Wow, you know that.
So as to be so tiny, it's almost impossible to grow them directly in the fields. So what do you have to do? Like a nursery, like a seed bed to incubate them. And when they germinate, then we have to select the best of them, like 10, 15 centimeters high, to be replanted on the fields. Now the replantation, you have to be very wise when you do it. Because if you're planting sun-grown tobacco, it has to be like 25 to 30 centimeters apart. But if it is shade-grown tobacco, it has to be 30 to 45 centimeters apart. That's why per hectare, you're planting 34,000 plants in sun-grown tobacco, and in 1 hectare of shade-grown tobacco, you're planting 30,000 plants. So you do replant them, and later on, you have to start working with tobacco for 3 months. You have to use a hoe, you will see, and you have to bank up as much soil to the stem of the plant for them to grow healthy. You have to irrigate water depending on the needs of the plant, so you have to calculate it.
You plant it in a Tupperware.
Then you have to start removing the top buds. When you remove the top buds, because we don't need flowers, first of all, we don't produce the seeds. We are provided the seeds by the Tobacco Research Institute. So we are headed by a cooperative, it's a monopole, and they give us and provide us the seeds and varieties of tobacco.
You don't get to choose.
That's right. Then you do cut the top buds, you remove the top buds, and it causes an explosion of the side shoots, like in tomatoes. You have to remove them as well, very delicate. So the plant continues growing, and then when they are like 2 months, when they are like 40 days, you begin to harvest and to recollect tobacco. Meanwhile, you have to use magnesium, potassium, which is they are antagonists, but working together regulate the pH and the acidity. The potassium is vital to the tobacco quality. It produces flavor, it produces texture and refinement. I mean, nitrogen is very important because nitrogen, it's what provides nicotine. And in all the plant you have nicotine. Then you have phosphorus, which is helping the roots to grow. And then you have magnesium and potassium providing the color of the ash and compactness of the ash. All these components are found in the fields when you replenish it after every year with horses and cows manure, or you plant corn, or you plant beans in order to refertilize the soil. So then you have the photosynthesis process, which is acting with the plant and is providing also nutrients. So they transform what it is sun into nutrients, chlorine, nicotine, and so on. The plant grows and grows, and then after 40 days you begin to harvest tobacco. How do you do that, my friends? You have to do it from the bottom to the top of the plant. From the bottom to the top of the plant. But you have to pick up 3 leaves every 7 days. So after 7 days, 3 more leaves. After 7 days, 3 more leaves. And in one plant, you should have 16 leaves if it is sun-grown, and 18 leaves if it is shade-grown. You should probably have less, or probably, but never more of it. Then you do it from bottom to top, and the reason why you do that, it is because in the same plant, we have, my friends, different classes of leaves, which according to the position in the plant, they'll determine flavor, strength, aroma, combustibility, and density. We find in the bottom part of the plant, the light flavored, which is mainly used as a binder and is helping combustibility. Then you have medium flavor, which is for the aroma. Then you have full flavored, which is for the strength. And very rarely found in the upper part of the foliage, you can find medio tiempo. When I say difficult to be produced, because even if the farmers intend to grow it, sometimes it doesn't grow. It's nature. How do we obtain, or how can we get the medio tiempo? When you're recollecting tobacco, at the end of the recollection, the last 3 leaves are not paired. You have 2 of them paired, like this. They are the same, in the same stem. But this one is not. This one is a little bit in the upper part of the foliage. It's receiving more sun. It's receiving more nutrients. So, could be medio tiempo. How do you know it? Not the farmers. You know it after being dried and after being classified. When you touch them, when you see they get late on drying, when you see they get late on being fermented, that gives you some detailed information about medio tiempo, which is only using Behike 54, 54, 52, and 56. So you recollect tobacco and you have to transport it to the drying barns or curing barns. Whenever you're ready, we can go to the curing barn, have a look to the fermentation process, meet Hector, see the unit, see the cigar humidor, where we store the cigars, where you see the trophy, where you see all this detailed information.